Greetings, parents and guardians. This video is a brief tutorial outlining the course registration process for schools in the Freehold Regional High School District. Step 1. I'm going to go to the Freehold Regional High School District website at FRHSD.com. From there, we're going to go ahead and select Parent Portal. Now, at the time of registration, you will have already received your username and password. So we're going to type in our username and password and log in. So there we see the name of our student. In this case, my account, we're using John Smith. So we're going to go ahead and select Scheduling. And from there, we're going to select Requests. So here you see each of the subject areas, and then you see the recommendation denoted by this apple icon. The recommendations are based on various data points, including middle school grades, middle school course level, middle school teacher recommendations, standardized test scores, so on and so forth. So starting with the top, we're going to look at the English subject area, and we see we are recommended for English 1. Now there's two options for English 1. There's English 1 and there's Honors English 1. In this case, we agree with the recommendation. We're going to go ahead, we're going to click Request a Course. Once again, we see the two options. We see English 1, we see Honors English 1. We see that we're recommended, because we see the apple, for English 1. We agree with that recommendation, so we're going to go ahead and request this course. So now we go back to our request page. We see under the English subject area that we requested English 1. Now in the math subject area, we're recommended for geometry. So that means that we have two options. We could take either geometry or geometry honors. Now let's say you know your child. You feel as though your child is really strong in math. They want to try honors geometry, but they weren't recommended for it. Well, that's okay. You can still go to request a course. In that case, you're just going to go ahead and find Honors Geometry and request this course. So now you can see on our request page, it still shows that we were recommended for geometry, but we selected Honors Geometry. And that will be honored. Now moving forward to the science subject area, we were recommended for Honors Lab Biology. We have two options, Lab Biology and Honors Lab Biology. We agree with that recommendation, so we're going to request Honors Lab Biology. Now for social studies, we were recommended for Honors World History. Let's say in this case, the student maybe is feeling maybe a little overwhelmed because they're already taking two honors courses, or maybe isn't feeling as strong in social studies, or maybe social studies isn't their favorite subject, and let's say you decide to go against the recommendation in the other direction and you would like to go down. That's fine. You can go to request a course. So you see that we were recommended for Honors World History, but we can go ahead and select World History in that case. So once again, we could still see that recommendation was for Honors World History, but our selection was for World History. So after we've selected courses in the four core areas of English, Math, Science, and Social Studies, that brings us to World and Classic Language. In our case, we were recommended for Spanish 2. So for foreign language, we ask that students select a first priority course and a second priority, just in case there's any type of scheduling conflict or issues, and for one reason or another, they're unable to get into their first choice. So in this case, we're going to go with the recommendation for our first choice, and we want to go with Spanish 2. So right here where it says priority, we're going to use that option, and we're going to go ahead and indicate that Spanish 2 is our highest priority. And then we're going to request the course. Then we're going to go back in under World Classic Languages, and we're going to select a second priority. So in this case, we're going to choose Italian 1 as our second priority. So under priority, we're just going to indicate priority 2 and request this course. So there we have it. We now have two selections for World Classic Languages. So every full year course that you are registered for is worth 5 credits within our schools. So right now we have 5 credits in English, 5 credits in math, 5 credits in science, 5 credits in social studies, and 5 credits in World Classic Language, because we'll only be taking one World Classic Language course. So that gives us a total of 25 credits. The students will be scheduling for 35 credits each year. 5 of those credits is phys ed and health. So that's not here as a selection. All students have to take that, so they'll automatically be placed in those courses. So that gives us 5 credits to work with, and that gives us room for one elective course. Now you'll see that there's 3 different subject areas here for electives. So we just need 5 credits within that area to complete our schedule. Now let's say our student is interested in taking art. That's their first choice for an elective course. So they're going to go under Practical and Performing Arts. Now you'll see with some of our elective courses, some of the courses are worth 5 credits, but there's other courses that are worth 2.5 credits. So if you see a 2.5 credit course, that means it's a half-year course. So in that case, if we want to take a 2.5 credit course, we'll have to select 2 of those. Whereas a 5 credit course is a full year course, so we would only select 1. So in this case, we want to take art, which would be fine and applied art. So we're going to go ahead and select fine art. We're going to once again go ahead and select our priority. With elective courses, we also ask that students have a second priority as well, just in case they can't get into their first choice elective. So we're going to go ahead. I sign up for fine art. I see that it's 2.5 credits. I select that as my first priority. I request this course. Now, since fine art was only a 2.5 credit course, we have to go ahead and select another 2.5 credit course. In this case, we're going to go ahead and select applied art for the other half of the year. And we're going to once again indicate that that's our first choice because we would like to take art for the full year. So now that we've selected a first priority elective for 5 credits, we're going to go ahead and select the second choice elective. And for that, I'm going to go ahead down here to the elective subject areas just to see what else is available. You can see there's a lot of options. Let's say our student is interested in taking accounting. Now we see that that's a 5 credit course, so we only have to select 1 in that case, whereas the art was a half-year course, so we needed to select 2. And in this case, this is our second priority elective, so we're going to request this course. And there you have it. So now we have 5 credits in English, 5 credits in math, 5 credits in science, 5 credits in social studies, 5 credits in electives, and 5 credits in World Classic Languages. That brings us to 30 credits overall. The final 5 credits will be phys ed and health, and that gives us a total of 35 credits. And there you have it. We've completed the course selection process. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact your home school's guidance office. Otherwise, happy registration, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.